Hello, everyone. Episode 4 of the New England Golfer. We can get this on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your popular or listen to your podcast. U.S. Open this year did not disappoint. It rarely ever does disappoint. And congratulations to JJ Spaun on getting his second career victory. He had lost in the playoff earlier this year at the Players' Championship to Rory. So a great job from JJ Spaun this week. Although he made it a little interesting. He definitely made it a little interesting. He started off the week. Hot start. Sorry, had to sneeze. I felt that one coming on for like 5 minutes. And it's like, well, maybe I can get through the show. No, well, like an idiot. Like, oh, I can get through the show. Anyways, JJ Spaun, round 1, 4 under 66. Got out to a hot start. Kind of struggled on Friday. Sam Burns took the lead. I think Sam Burns had the lead also with Adam Scott after Saturday. And then on Saturday, everyone fell on their face. My goodness. But the winning score, JJ Spaun, -1. He was the only player this week to finish under par. Second was Robert McIntyre of Scotland, 1 over. Victor Hovland in third, 2 over. Cam Young, Tyrrell Hatton, and Carlos Ortiz tied for third at 3 over. John Rahm had an impressive 3 under, 67 on a Sunday to... we thought he was going to be in contention with way everyone was falling on their face, but John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, Sam Burns, all +4. Scotty Scheffler was my pick, and Scotty kind of struggled all weekend. Like I said, the one thing that's going to let him down was his putting, and his short game was not phenomenal this week at Oakmont. Ben Griffin, Russell Henley tied for 10th at 5 over. And then we'll end here. Xander Schauffele, Brooks Koepka, Chris Kirk, Christian Bezuidenhout, Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, Tristan Lawrence, Adam Scott, all +6. Rory, who I told you to fade, +7 for tie 19th. And Ryan Fox, last week's winner at the Canadian Open in a playoff over Sam Burns, also +7. I think the big story is Sunday. The weather, I think, was a factor for them, but just everyone seemed to fall on their face. We'll quickly go over the money. The purse was $21.5 million. JJ Spaun taking home $4.3 million. Pretty good payday for JJ Spaun. Robert McIntyre taking home $2.322 million. Victor Hovland taking home just under 1.5. And the rest of the guys are taking home under 807. Well, Cam Young, Tyrrell Hatton, and Carlos Ortiz taking home 876, and then everyone else under that is under 615,000. But still a pretty good day. But again, everyone on Sunday kind of falling on their face. I mean, Sam Burns +8, Adam Scott +9. Like, and the big thing I think with Sam Burns is not getting the relief from the water on the 15th hole. Whether you agree with that or not, I mean, when you saw him walking over there, there was no water being drawn under his feet, and I think that's the big thing. He called over 2 different rules officials to see if he could get some sort of ruling on that, and both of them said, "Yep, you're not drawing enough water." Like, yes, it was wet, but he wasn't drawing enough water. And then you saw all of his practice shots; he was taking water, and I think he was doing that on purpose. He was trying to dig a little bit just to make sure that everyone saw that, there's some water there, and he hit like a snap hook on 15. Like, my goodness. And he, I understand that he's frustrated. It's the U.S. Open. It's one of the majors. It's a big payday. Like I said, JJ just won over $4 million. I understand why Burns is upset. And mind you, last week, he lost in a playoff at the Canadian Open on the 4th or 5th hole. So I get his frustration, but he wasn't drawing enough water. And they also said you can't dig in, really weigh yourself down. If you just saw that on a video, I'm just kind of doing this little waddle thing. But you can't fake it. You know what I'm saying? And man, my allergies are going crazy right now, so I apologize for all the sniffles. Anyways, that I think that was a big thing. But you could also say, don't shoot 8 over on the final round of a major. Like, are you really expecting to win if you shoot 8 over? And yes, it was a blow-up hole. You could have come back on 16, 17, and 18 and really done something, but he didn't. He didn't. So let's talk more about JJ Spaun, though, the winner. I mean, the tee shot on 17, the drivable par 4 on 17, and here he's one over. There's a few people tied for the lead at that point. He hits an unreal low cut on 17, drives the green, has the eagle putt, sends it a little bit past the hole, gets the birdie. He's even par now. That was an unbelievable shot. And then until you saw the putt on 18, you're like, okay, the tee shot on 17 was the shot of the tournament for JJ Spaun. And then he just drains the longest putt that was holed this week, by the way, at Oakmont. His birdie on 18 drains it to get 1 under. And the great thing about that, and I think it was super helpful, was Victor Hovland ended up in the same spot. He could see the read from Victor Hovland. And look, he knew he needed 2 putts to win the U.S. Open. He hits it in 1, unbelievable putt from JJ Spaun. I mean, and I thought he was going to fall on his face too. I mean, he started off with 5 straight 5s on Sunday. He was, 5 over on the round. You go, all right, here comes, JJ Spaun falling on his face again. We thought, hey, maybe Adam Scott's going to come back, win his second major. The other major he won was the Masters. And then like I said, he finished 9 over on Sunday, so he kind of fell on his face too. There was certainly some fanfare, and that's what you want from a U.S. Open. But it just felt like no one wanted to win the U.S. Open. Everyone was falling on their face on Sunday. Everyone was just, it was unreal. But then I think the delay, and this is what I think is a little karma for Sam Burns. I forget what hole, he might have been on 12. I can't remember what hole he was on though. When they sounded the horn, he was getting up to the tee. He had his driver. It was another. I'm trying to think. It might have been 8. Might have been that long part 3. Anyways, he had driver on the tee, and it was a drivable hole. And what he does is he teed up his shot. And the rain was absolutely pouring at this point. And he decides to back off the tee, go back under the umbrella, kind of mess around, dry off the ball, dry off the club face, dry off. And you knew what he was doing. He was delaying everything because he knew the horn was about to sound. So he's going to delay it. So, because you didn't want to play on those conditions, you got a little bit of karma on 15, I think. Because he was delaying because he knew the horn was about to sound. And he's like, well, why hit this drive in this weather when I know I probably don't have to, so I can wait a few seconds before, anyone comes over to warn me about pace of play. So it was a smart move, honestly, because like I said, it's the U.S. Open, it's a Sunday. Why not try to finagle the rules a little bit in your favor, knowing that the horn's probably about to be sounded? So, but maybe that was a little bit of karma coming back to bite him on 15. So, like I said, JJ Spaun, his other win, the 2022 Valero Texas Open. And, he'd kind of been a guy that was at the top of some leaderboards, and it was just, he was just a guy. That's about it. And not taking anything away from JJ Spaun. He was just another one of those players. And I think when you win a major, it really propels you into a different class on the PGA Tour. So, I'm super happy for him. And the cool thing about the U.S. Open, and they've done this every year since 1965, they ended on Father's Day. He got to share the moment with his 2 girls right there. So that was super awesome for him. So I'm just super excited for JJ Spaun to win the U.S. Open. I want to talk about some other players, though, down the stretch. Tyrrell Hatton. How about that blow up down the stretch from him? Oh, my goodness. You could tell he was a toddler throwing a tantrum on the course because he couldn't get the right lie. His swing wasn't doing it. And look, we've all been there on the course where it's not going our way, and we just throw a little fit. I get it. You're a professional, though, dude. It's like, remember, the whole thing with Wyndham Clark in the clubhouse, and kicking in the doors on the lockers, and people are a little mad about that. And I get it, you're frustrated, and it's okay to be frustrated. But to me personally, when you start destroying property, that's, if you destroy your own property, fine, and you destroy somebody else's, that's a little bit of a kind of a dick move. But he kind of blew up, and you could just tell, like, mentally, like, he was just, come on. And the cool thing is, I will give him some props for this. When he was being interviewed post-round, that's when JJ Spaun hit the putt on 18. He was literally in the middle of the interview, and he saw it. He goes, "Oh my God, he holed it," and he's like, "Oh, that's incredible." So he kind of like had a change of attitude right there, because I think in that moment he probably realizes, I wasn't winning this thing anyways. Like I kind of mentally gave up down the stretch, and I wasn't getting to 1 under, and so I just think it's cool. It's like a fellow golfer celebrating another fellow golfer. So, but yeah, that was quite the meltdown from Tyrrell Hatton. But then, like I said, the post-round interview celebrating Spaun, who, by the way, was 3 under since the restart, after the restart. So things weren't going his way early. What was it, the second hole? He had the beautiful approach shot, goes off the flag, and then it rolls all the way, way down into a low area, and he ends up bogeying. I think it was the second hole. But I think the restart was JJ Spaun's best friend, because it just, to him, it was like, okay, this is another round for me. And they got to the point, too, where had there been a playoff, we would have been playing golf right now. The U.S. Open used to do the sorry about that. They used to do the playoff as 18 holes. The last one was 2008. I think that was Torrey Pines one. It was Rocco and Tiger, the 18 holes. But they decided to switch it up. It was going to be a 2-hole combined score. But they told Robert McIntyre, if there is a playoff, it's going to happen tomorrow, because they just don't have daylight. But JJ Spaun made sure that they weren't going to have, wasn't going to have that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about too was a lot of players, and no surprise that it was Rory doing the most of it, but complaining about the conditions, complaining about the course. And I told you to fade Rory. His game's not there. He started off really good Thursday. He was towards the top of the leaderboard early Thursday, and then just kind of fell on his face on the back nine, and he just never really put it together. And even after Friday, he's like, do I really want to be here for another 2 days? No, not really, but I'll do it. And it's kind of becoming a little tricky to root for Rory. And I know he's the face of the PGA Tour, I think, right now, because he's the guy that talks. Even though Scotty's the number 1 ranked player, Rory's the one that's always in the media, and he's just always, he nags a lot. And even he said, like, I've earned the right to do this, and it's becoming a little unwatchable now. It's like I think Rory is starting to become a kind of a polarizing player, because I think he's starting to become that player that you either really like or you really dislike, and it's hard to be kind of indifferent towards Rory, because he's a phenomenal golfer. He's won the career Grand Slam, and he just seems to whine so much. And it's just like, come on, dude. I get you wear your heart on your sleeve, and I'm not going to be one of these guys that's like, stick to sports, stick to golf. Like, speak your mind. I get it. But, like, you also have this opportunity to play golf for a living. And look, I'm not there with him. I don't know what it's like. I don't play professional golf. And I get that there's frustration, and I think a lot of players over the years have complained that the USGA always makes courses too hard, and like, that's not golf. Like, JJ Spaun shot, again, I think it was on 2, and he hit the flagstick, and it came back 50 yards into a low area. Like, yeah, you're right, that's not golf. Why should you be penalized for hitting the perfect shot? So I get why they complain about course conditions. I get it. I'd be upset if I did that too, like one hop off the flagstick and it comes rolling back 50 yards. I get it. But this is always what the USGA has been known to do, is make the course incredibly difficult to play. They want it to be the hardest test in golf. So, like, on one hand, I'm like, dude, just shut up, take your medicine. The other hand, I'm like, yeah, I kind of understand where you're coming from. And we're in the game of golf too, like distance is becoming a problem. Like the older courses are being brought to their knees because of the incredible distance that these guys have. And that's why, there's always that debate of should we roll back the ball? Should we roll back the clubs? Because in order to compete with the distance, you're going to have to make brand new golf courses. And even John Rahm said, like, if you just promote distance, like that, if you just make courses longer, you're just going to promote distance and not technique, right? Like, we're finding out, like, Scottie Scheffler isn't one of the better putters on tour, and he's the number one ranked golf player in the world. Like, you feel like the number one ranked player in the world should be dominant in all facets of the game. Like, when Tiger was on his run, he was dominant in all facets of the game. But if you just keep chasing distance, that's all you're going to do, and the short game isn't going to be there. And that's why I think the USGA tries to make this course as hard as possible. Like, they had drivable par fours. They had a 301 yard, the longest par three in U.S. Open history, 301 yard par three, right? They want to make it difficult, but like they're trying to say, like, look, I think, and I love that the USGA does this, the drivable par fours, and it's like, we're showing you distance isn't the issue, it's skill. And I think the U.S. Open did a great job of showing that this week. Like, the greens were rolling at a 14 at some point during this week. That's crazy fast. That's like putting on glass. So, like, I'm just kind of torn on Rory because it's like he's kind of starting to get a reputation of always complaining, but maybe he has the right to. Maybe he has earned the right to do it. He's the second-ranked golf player in the world and maybe one of the most notable players. But this is about the U.S. Open, damn it. This isn't about Rory McIlroy. This is about JJ Spaun and his second career win. But just the drama of the U.S. Open. Because at one point, there was like a 5 or 6-way tie for first place. And you're sitting there going, who is going to win this freaking tournament? I mean, the drama down the stretch. And then I think JJ Spaun, after the restart, like I said, he was 3 under after the restart. I think he settled down very nicely. And again, like the tee shot on 17 is going to be talked about for a long time. But the putt on 18 is going to be in his highlight reel for the rest of his career. I mean, yes, obviously getting the line from Victor Hovland was super helpful. And I was kind of pulling for Victor Hovland. He's kind of been a guy that's struggled a little bit lately, but to pull it together at the U.S. Open is kind of impressive. But I'm super happy for JJ Spaun, though, because like he's a guy he's been on tour for a while, and he's only pulled it together one other time. Like I said, that was a few years ago with the Valero Texas Open, and now you get the major. Like, look at Matt Fitzpatrick. Has he done anything since winning the U.S. Open at the Country Club a few years ago? But you still see him around because he's a major champion. Same thing with JJ Spaun. He's who knows what his career is going to do after this. I think we're seeing that with Rory right now. He's finally won the career Grand Slam, and it's just kind of like, all right, well, now what do I got to do? Do it again, bud. And I think so many people, like, especially later in their career, they win a major. They're finally like, all right, I did it. I can just take a breath, But who knows? But again, the drama was there on Sunday. And you thought, maybe with the rain, the course was starting to play a little bit easier because the greens would slow down. No. The water on the fairway was wreaking havoc with everyone because you couldn't get that rollout. It would hit, and it would maybe carry an extra yard or so. Like, they would get 295 yards of carry, but the drive would be 297 because it lands in a puddle. I mean, and just look at the shots that some of the guys were hitting out of the rough, too. Like, you have to hit out of mud pretty much in the rough. But, I mean, Sunday at the U.S. Open, it provided everything, and it was such a show. And, I mean, even just the way that JJ Spaun ended it, like, oh, my God, that was chef's kiss how that thing ended. But, again, just congrats to JJ Spaun. Happy for the guy. Got his second win. But I think one of the bigger stories is not maybe one of the bigger stories, but one of the I guess one of the bigger stories, yeah, we'll go with it. No one's here to tell me I'm wrong, but, Sam Burns not getting relief on the 15th hole, is that what caused it? Maybe. But again, I say don't shoot 8 over par on a Sunday in a major. Who knows? But I think we'll end the podcast there. I'll talk to you about a couple other things, but we'll end the U.S. Open portion right there. My golf content, the course content, is starting to roll out. I played at Ritter Farm in East Bridgewater. I'm not going to tell you what I shot. I'll wait for the whole 9-hole video to come out so you can see what I shot. Playing in a charity golf tournament this Friday it's for the Select Soccer Club. It's a South Shore Soccer Club. The money is part of it's going towards their scholarship fund, and part of it's going towards the American Cancer Society. So I'm super excited. Maybe I'll record some on-course content there. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Depends on the mood that I'm in. I don't know if you guys have played in a charity golf tournament. Those things usually drag on forever. It's like a 5.5-hour round, but super fun. Money goes towards something good. Like I said, goes towards their scholarship fund, but also a lot of the money goes towards the American Cancer Society. So I'm super excited about that. But thank you guys for tuning in. We got some more golf content coming out, more podcast content coming out. We're really trying to get the New England Golfer off the ground and running. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Just search New England Golfer. You should be able to find it. We're not quite on Facebook yet. I don't even know if I'm going to go on Facebook, but probably will, because why not? You can link Facebook and Instagram in the snap of a finger. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next time on episode 5 of the New England Golfer.